What is up? What is up, everyone? It's good to see y'all again. Welcome to another podcast. Welcome to another episode, I mean. It has been a while since I've been back here. It's been a minute since I've uploaded an episode on my podcast. And primarily, it's because I've just been focused on other things, to be quite honest. There's a lot of things that are going on in my life. A lot of things with this new job that I have. My YouTube channel's popping off. What I love about doing this podcast and having a second YouTube channel just for doing podcast talks, talking about the latest news in tech as well, is that now I can just create content because I'm having fun. And I'm having fun on my main YouTube channel, but I don't have to worry about getting a lot of views. I can just continue doing what I'm doing and try new things. And this is really exciting. So I'm honestly, I'm really excited about this. And it's really weird for me to not look at the lens. I'm actually looking at myself. I feel like this angle works or this angle works. Let me know if you want me to actually look at the camera or should I look at this camera? I don't know. Anyway, what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about why college wasn't for me and why college might not be for you as well from a software engineering perspective, right? From a self-taught developer's perspective, to be honest. Why is college not for everyone? I think that is the better question to ask rather than how will college help you? Will it help you change your life? I think the better question to ask is why is college not made for everyone? And I think it's not made for a lot of people. I think one of the sad things about, I have a lot of friends who went to college, my family in particular. People in my family went to college. They told me to go to college, and I didn't. I dropped out, and then everyone looks down at me in a particular way, and that's totally fine because I'm from an Asian family. But I really genuinely believe that college isn't for everyone, and what I mean by that is that I think people think that college is the only way to go simply because everyone says that's the way to succeed. That's the way to reach success in your life. That if you go to college, it will help change the trajectory of your life and you become a millionaire in your 30s, in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, you name it. But I don't think that's true at all. I know more people that went to college who are living paycheck to paycheck right now than people who didn't go to college. I mean, a lot of people I know didn't go to college or living paycheck to paycheck, to be honest, because of where I grew up. I'm in a place where all of my friends didn't have a lot of money. Even the parents weren't, officially, even the parents weren't doing as well as you'd hope them to do. And I want people to really understand, college is amazing. If you want, I have nothing against college, but I think that if you want to go to college to be a software engineer, that's fine. But I think people need to understand that is not the only way to do it. For example, people look forward to breaking six figures, to making $100,000 a year. That's amazing. That could be life-changing. With inflation now, I don't know if it's as much life-changing, and I don't know if that's enough to really get a decent house to raise a family of 4, including you and your 2 kids, and maybe a dog or 2, and et cetera, and life insurance, and et cetera, and health insurance, saving for a car, investments, you name it. I don't know. I don't think 100K is enough, to be honest. But I think it's really interesting that so many people think that in order to make and break that bar, that goal of $100,000 a year, that you need to go to college to do that. That you need to go to college and get your CS degree, or you name it, software engineering degree, you name it, to pass 6 figures. I want to let you know that that's not true. If you really do it the right way, if I was to start over today and really look at what I need to do to make sure that I can become a dev in 1 or 2 years. My first year, I don't think I'll make $100K a year, but I think for my second year and third year, I will break $100,000 a year. It's like, why should you go to college and wait 4 years to break 6 figures? And not just that, wait 4 or maybe 5 years to break 6 figures to make more than $100,000 a year. But every single year, you're giving that college $30, $40, $50,000 a year, maybe $20. And by the time you graduate from college, you owe $80,000 in student loans, not including the interest, depending on how long it takes you to pay that off, just to break 6 figures when you can do it a totally different way. Think about it. You can just go the self-taught route. Take you 2 years, 3 years tops, no debt. Maybe you go to coding bootcamp and you only owe $7,000 to $12,000 tops to coding bootcamp and break 6 figures in 2, maybe 3 years tops. Another way to look at this, right? Why I'm really glad I didn't go to college and why college wasn't for me. Now, for 5 years of my career, about 5 4.5 maybe, or was it 5? 4.5, I think. I was making below $100,000 a year, right? Year 1, year 2, making $45K a year. Year 3 and 4, and I said this over and over again, I was making $70,000 a year. I got laid off. I'm an entrepreneur. Went to my next job. I was making between $80 to $90K a year, depending on bonuses. And then I quit that job because that company was toxic as hell. The CTO there was very toxic. I leave that company. And then what happens next? I go to my next job and they pay me $183,000 a year. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. It was I think it was $179,000 a year. Then after a couple months, I got a 3% bonus or raise, right? They raised my base salary a little bit. So I went from 180K to 183K a year, which is not really that big of a deal. It took me 4.5 years to break 100K salary. And I went from making $80,000 a year to 180. I made more than double what I earned in just 4.5 years. I mean, and I doubled more than what my base salary was at the last job before jumping to 180K a year. Now think of it like this. I mean, think of it like this, okay? I could have went to college for 4 years, giving whatever school I went to $20,000-$30,000 a month or a semester or a year or whatever you name it, okay? Some schools it's per semester. Crazy. By the time I graduate college, I get my first job interning, hoping they pay me well. I know a homie who just graduated college. Her first offer for her first job at the company that she wants to work at is $135,000 a year total compensation. She went to a good school. She interned at top companies, and the first job is only paying $135,000 a year because that is what the range is for first-year engineers, for new grads. Interesting, right? That's so interesting. But then, rather than going to college, what did I do? I went the self-taught route. Rather than me giving a school $45,000 a year, my company is giving me $45,000 a year for 2 years. Then year 3, then year 4, an entrepreneur, they're giving me $70,000 a year and a free laptop, by the way, to work with, which they ended up giving to me. So I was earning money. So throughout the span of 4 years, I earned $140. So altogether, in 2 years, in 4 years, I made $230,000 cash. Pre-tax, of course. Pre-tax. While other people have to pay $200,000 to learn what I did as a self-taught developer. Now, please understand that I have nothing. Okay, I have nothing against these people who go to college to learn how to code. I have nothing against that, because when you do graduate college, you make a pretty decent income depending on what school you went to, whatever projects you built, and whatever companies you entered at, of course. And you can pay off your debt pretty fast, or you can do it the other way. Yeah, you don't make 100K right off the bat. You make 45K a year, 70K a year. I mean, honestly, you'll probably make more now, because this was years ago when I was making $45,000 a year, and I didn't realize how underpaid I was. I was just that poor, to be honest. You can do it the other way. It takes longer to pass 6 figures, but you get there, and I think that's the better route to go. 4 years of professional experience over 4 years of college is way better, is it not? I think it is. And now, another thing I have against this, okay, is that a lot of people who want to learn code are people who are already past the younger years. A lot of people who want to learn code now are not 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Some of them 23. But a lot of them are in the mid-20s. A lot of them are in the late 20s, early 20s, mid-30s, late 30s, early 40s, 50s, even some people in their 60s. And then so for people to say that you need to go back to college after living all your life without school and trying to learn how to be a student again in school, when instead you can just teach yourself. But the thing is, so many people who are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s give up because they think that, well, a lot of people are saying I need a degree to be a software engineer, so I guess this isn't going to work out for me. And I give up. And that makes me so upset, because I want people to understand that that's not true. It's not true at all. That you do not need a degree. I hope I've emphasized this enough. Okay, now let's continue on this. Okay, let's just continue talking about this. Did you know, based on admissionsly.com, that 33% of the students drop out of college every single year? Who's to say that won't be you? Like I remember telling myself that this won't be me. This won't be me. So I went to which college did I go to first? Cypress Community College for 1 or 2 years. 1 year, dropped out. You know what? I messed up. I screwed up. I didn't show up to classes. I was lazy. I'd rather play Counter-Strike. Went to another college. I went to San Francisco City College. Dropped out. Then I went back. Okay? I went back to Cypress College for the 3rd time. Dropped out again. And I kept thinking that 33%, I didn't know what the number was at the time. Maybe it was lesser amount of people dropped out at that time. But I kept thinking that this time I won't drop out. This time I won't drop out. But college just isn't for me. I don't know what it is, but I hate school. I hate school. I hate school. I hate school. Now, if you love school, then kudos to you. Life will be a little easier for you in life. For me, it's not. And it's harder for me. And that's fine. I'll accept that. I have to work harder and work around that. But who's to say that, and I'm not trying to talk negatively, but who's to say that 33% won't be you? You never know. Who's to say you won't be one of them? Who's to say that? And even and to add on top of that, who's to guarantee that college will guarantee that you will have a life of success? How many people attend college thinking that is the only way to succeed? Now, it isn't. It's one of the ways, but I generally do not believe that it is one of the ways. It's the only way, right? I don't believe it's the only way. I think it depends on what you want to do, but I chase happiness over money. But I'm just very lucky that my happiness is in doing YouTube, and it's bringing me pretty good money, and tech is bringing me pretty good money, which I love doing as well. Actually, one of my coworkers asked me today, Justin, Chat Codes. I was like, dude, I told him, yo, this month YouTube's gonna pay me more than I make in tech. This is kind of crazy. Like, why is this happening to me? I don't get it. And then right after that, I said, but I just want to let you know that I don't plan on leaving Airbud. I love where I work. Like, I do love my job. I don't ever think of leaving the company at all. And he asked me, well, Chris, come on, be honest. Like, you don't enjoy your job, huh? Like, if you're not happy, and if you could, I bet you would leave. And I told him, no, that's not true at all. No. Because if I'm not happy at the company, I'll leave, even if YouTube wasn't doing well, even if I didn't have a second job waiting for me. Even in the midst, well, maybe not in the midst of a recession. If I wasn't happy, I would leave. I've done that plenty of times. I've done that when I was working at New Relic. I did that at the last startup I worked at, right? I've done that when a startup that I worked at before New Relic, where the CTO was very toxic and I just quit on the spot. If I'm not happy, I chase happiness. I chase money too. Of course I do. I want to take care of my family. I want their lives to be easier. I want my kids' lives to be easier. I want my kids' lives to be easier. But that means I have to work even harder for that to happen. I want to be the first multi-millionaire. I want to be the first decamillionaire in the family. And I'll do whatever it takes to get there to make sure my family's taken care of, etc. Anyway, but I told them, no, like, I wouldn't leave because I really enjoy what I do here. I really enjoy my job. It is amazing to find a job that I actually enjoy. It's amazing. I freaking love it. Now, I didn't chase an education. I didn't chase college. And yeah, life is good. But I think what I'm trying to say is, I chased happiness. But it doesn't mean that if there's something that you do enjoy, who's to say that what you truly enjoy doing, you cannot turn that into a successful career or to help you live at least a little bit of a better life? Who's to say that? But yet everyone wants to say that college is the one thing that will guarantee you success, and it's not. College is trying to think of a way to take your money. How many people do I know who work in tech and say, yeah, college helped me because they're able to understand computer science and how tech works. But I also know someone who's the head of engineering at a $1 billion startup, maybe at the one I work at, where he went to college, but it was for arts, for acting, right? I think it was for drama. And then he went to a boot camp and he learned computer science that way. Who's to say that college is the only way? It's not. And I think it's really important. If you really want to succeed in life and change your life, I think it's really important to understand that if you change that mindset, that one way isn't the only way to do things, you will figure out a way to solve problems in your life so much more quickly. Now, there's another statistic I want to talk about. And it doesn't matter if this is true or not, to be honest, because it doesn't mean that this has to be you as well. College dropouts are 19.6% more likely to be unemployed than a degree holder. You're only 20% more likely. Okay, let me change this around. You're only 20% more likely to be unemployed than a college graduate. So even a college graduate has a 20% less chance than you to be unemployed, right? But does that mean that they won't be unemployed? Does that mean that they won't have a successful career? Does it mean that they will have a successful career? No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. And so you see these statistics saying college is the only way, or it's the way to really increase your opportunities and chances. And true, college can help. It's not the only way. I went from high school, barely graduating, to dropping out of 3 different colleges, and just wondering if life will change for me, right? I spoke with another colleague today. She's a front-end developer here at my company that I work at Airbright. Tia Larson, shout out to her. And she talked about how before being a front-end developer in tech, and she's only been in tech for a year and a half, okay? But before that, a year and a half ago, she said she remembered going to the grocery store, and I think it was food stamps that she was talking about. I'm not sure what was it WIC? I forgot what term she used. But she went there to buy food for her children, and the car didn't work. It was empty. She spent all of her money already on food stamps. I think it was food stamps. You know, whenever I go to the grocery store, I go there because I'm hungry. I have no food at home. And I can only imagine what she was going through, what was going on through her head, going to the grocery store, picking up the groceries you need, just picking out enough, hoping that you have enough money to buy that food. You go there and you don't have enough food to feed your children. And then imagine you have to go home to your children and tell them, I'm sorry, you're not eating tonight. How hard must that be? Or there's only enough food for a couple of people. The parents won't eat, just the children. But don't tell their children that. You don't ever want them to know that, right? I mean, I would tell my children, I won't eat you all. I want them to understand what suffering is like, right? The things that I have to go through, or if I was going through that at the time with them. And then she got teary-eyed, just like I am right now, because I went through the same thing, but I don't have kids. She became teary-eyed. She almost cried. She kind of did. And then she talked about how tech could change her life, because then she also brought up the fact that how, because I'm in tech, I've never had to worry about food. I had never had to worry about my debit card not having money. And then prior to that, she was an English teacher. I want to interview her soon on this podcast. But she was an English teacher. Prior to this, she was an English teacher. And the thing is, my fiance is a teacher too, and teachers are not paid well. I don't think a livable wage at all whatsoever for what I've heard before. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that college is not the only way. College isn't for me. From my perspective, from a self-taught developer, if you want to go, that's totally fine. But do you need to go? Do you have to go? Are you no longer in your 20s or in your 30s, 40s, 50s, you name it? Then go. Keep going. Don't stop. Change your life. Everyone, please understand where I was over 6 years ago. Where, oh gosh, I messed up my hair. Where I really accepted that I would live paycheck to paycheck for the rest of my life, that it's normal. Where I accepted that if I was to ever have a family, we could only have one kid because that's all we can afford, hopefully. Where I accepted that I'd never be able to own my own house. That I'd continue to live paycheck to paycheck, wondering what I'll eat the next day. That was normal because me and all my friends and even my parents were going through that. But I had to change that mindset. And let everyone understand that that's not normal. That you could change it. That does not have to be the norm in your life. You can change it, but it's up to you. And it depends on you and how bad you want it, how much you're willing to change your life to get there. I really want people to understand that. Yes, you're able. It is very possible to change your life, but it depends on you and how bad you want to do it. I'm here now. I make more money I could ever dream of. These opportunities now, because of how hard I worked over the last 6 years, where I now make more on YouTube than I do in tech. And that's only going to double, triple, quadruple if I continue to work even harder. That depends on me too, right? On how far I want to go. I see these opportunities in front of me. I'm going to make sure I take advantage of these opportunities, that even when I see that, I grab it. But there's so many people out there that when they see the opportunity that can change their life, they do nothing about it. Like, what the heck is wrong with you people? Some people don't suffer enough. And what I mean is, some people just haven't gone through a difficult life yet, right? I have someone who told me I just don't want to work hard enough to make over 6 figures. And I'm like, damn, then dude, you're in the wrong field. You need to do something else, because you have to work hard in tech to succeed. Anyway, I did not expect this episode to go this way. To be honest, I've been dreading making this episode because I had no idea how I'm going to do it. But again, I just had a set of topics to tackle and speak from my heart. And that's what I plan to do in the next few episodes. If there are any topics y'all want me to talk about next time, please just leave a comment below. If you like this, let me know. If there's anyone in particular you want me to interview, let me know. And tell me what your thoughts. Am I wrong? What did I miss? Am I too biased? I'm probably too biased, but hey. Let me know. Anyway, I'm ending the episode here. New episode coming in a couple days. I'll see y'all next time. I love you all. This is Krishan. Krishan Talks. Peace out.